having to do everything. He finds the first, he looks for the second, he can't get the shot off. And that's going to be NiP with the first round under their wings. However, Astralis down to 4, so we can just chill out a second before Mitch gets excited and puts on his NiP t-shirt.
I don't have one. Thank
Don't
you.
look so sad when you say that.
I only have an SK t-shirt actually, so there you go.
An SK t-shirt? Was
Yep.
that accidental?
No. But that was more like the old, that was like a 1.6 SK, that's going back now. That was just when I got into esports. But yeah, so waiting for Astralis to fill out their roster properly. Now, well, I do want to check back in with you a couple of times, Lauren, as the game goes and talk about how NiP are working this T side, especially the A kit. Because much like DDK has been mentioned as being you know, a big fan of Threat, you as well were talking a lot before the game as well. You're very interested to see how that has shaped them as well, if there's any going to be continued development. We want to see the Threat effect, I guess. And some people falsely call the threat effect out, like, oh, that's the threat effect. It was like, actually, no, this is NiP doing this for a while. Maybe it's more subtle than people think.
Oh, it's a mixture of both, right? The thing that Threat did that everyone liked was the fact it was like against, I don't know, it's a lot of things with NiP, right? For me, it's the fact that you're seeing them enjoy it. Speaking to Get Right on the way to, where was it? Oh God, I've traveled so much now, my brain's turned to mush. Jesus Christ, my brain, help me. We were going from Frankfurt to where? What was the recent event, Mitch? It was Katowice. There we go.
The recent event.
Yeah, so we're going to Katowice, and NiP are flying from the same airport as all of us, and I was just catching up with Get Right a little bit about how how they're doing and how they're feeling with Threat in the lineup, and what's kind of been the difference really, and who's in game leading. Is he actually calling all the time? What's his role? Is he one of those kind of like more sit back, do the analysis sort of roles, and give you some information? No, he's fully calling. And the big impact that I could see with Get Right is the fact that he seemed to be really enjoying the game. Like, and I know that sounds ridiculous.
Probably enjoying being back with Threat again as well, of course.
That's the point. They have this really nice synergy, and it means that he's having a great deal of fun again, and they feel like a very rejuvenated team. And you're going to see players like Exist coming into his own, which is awesome to see, because he got very overlooked when he was in-game leading. Now you can see a little bit more individual power. But yeah, there's a lot to NiP now that could be refreshed. So we can only hope that it keeps up. Again, it's still yet to be seen how much can change with these guys, but it's a very good start. And again, it means very enjoyable CS. And the fact is, it's the approach to certain rounds, like how they play their anti-ecos, how they kind of go on these buys, and what do they do with them. So they know the opponents with pistols. For example, Envy have a beautifully well-placed strategy on this map. Well, we used to, should I say, on their T side. Well, they just don't do it as much. Of mollying out towards B.
Envy, Lauren just said, you guys are trash, basically.
Shout out to MBK. But no, they used to have this really nice B play where they'd molly out all the corners, and it was actually quite similar to how NiP almost structured their A hit. It has the same sort of mentality towards it, so it's just how NiP are kind of like structuring themselves that I've actually enjoyed. Now again, default kind of hit here, and Dupree and Get Right are probably going to trade out. I'm not sure if one's seen the other actually so far, as we haven't seen that on camera, because Rush is ignoring it, but there you go. So Dupree's actually got the angle, but you can see 3 players waiting for this. Dupree's known for his aggression. But I don't know if they've read into it that well, but they've certainly got the first kill, so very nicely done. The SMGs, you can imagine, will be going first. Again, Exist there with the UMP, Freiburg with the MP7. So again, these things can come as a factor. You could maybe see some mollies towards A here, but again, Astralis going aggressive. This often can also equate towards that B hit. This is the thing I was saying, they're mid to B. They're going to try and single out those players in towards mid. They're clearing left and right. That's what those double smokes do. And then they can try and convert this towards another side of things. So using one of those mollies to clear the right side, they check in for it, Exist gets control of mid, and now they can build.
See, NiP weren't committed to a site, right? Astralis peeked into A main, saw nothing, thought, okay, it's got to be a mid or B, and they rotated away. Now, there's only 2 players here at A for Astralis, and NiP now decide to go to A. So maybe they peeked a little bit too early there, but here comes Freiburg on towards the side. He's trying to challenge down Zipnix, and he will find him. There's smoke that's going to block away the forklift, and now Freiburg to get safely in towards quad now. So NiP, good hold for now. Let's see what the retake looks like.
So they're quite low. There could be a lot of damage done by maybe Device. A couple of players are looking a little bit weaker than maybe they'd want. Cajun B actually found one as well. But they do keep most of the players alive, and they do keep all 3 rifles, which is the more integral part to that. So again, good pacing, good posture. They lose out on 2, but they take the side, and they do what they need.
Astralis need to be aware of just that, the pacing from NiP, right? They can't just peek A main, see nothing, and then go, all right, let's send a player to mid, let's send one player to B. They obviously need to realize that NiP are going to be taking these rounds slowly.
And Forrest on just the P250 could be looking towards maybe a AWP later into the game. He's got some really nice wall bangs from T mid. So again, you can see the setup. This is how they maybe sit for how they're expecting aggression. Carrigan this time going walkabouts through mid. Last time those double smokes were used to kind of try and single him out and allow them to step through and always trade effectively from it. But at the moment, Astralis, again, you know, they didn't do too well in the pistols in the first map. So, you know, I look at the gun rounds now. This should be clean from NiP, the new NiP, I guess you could call it, right? They shouldn't be losing out too much here. They've got 4 rifles, so you don't want to be losing out much. So again, it's going to be a well-constructed piece from them in theory. And let's see how they use these mollies to clear out this B site. It could be that mid to B take. See what Pit and Exist do if they're going to light up the smokes, maybe to cross through. But again, the bombs, not somewhere they can really adjust through from mid. So they need to kind of just hit it normally. That might be what it is. Just walk in. Might just be a contact play towards B.
Yeah, it looks like Get Right will be the first there as well. We did check, of course, that one little corner, which players like Cajun are not above frequenting, as well as Carrigan. So, Dupree going to have to be ready for this one now as well. A lot being used, but not much on towards Dupree. He can derail this one. He gets 2 very, very quick ones, but Forrest now able to get him down quickly. Now, NiP have to act fast. It's going to be a quick response here from Astralis. Zipnik's already trying to make his way in towards Vents. He does see the player there, shut down, or slow down at least, but Forrest gets himself out now. They have the bomb to the side. Device trying to harass from the back here. He's down to half health. 3 players for NiP still standing. Pit going to plant down. Now, they've got 2 AKs. And they've got a little bit of utility on Forrest here. Can buy them some time, but Forrest is going to molly towards lower.
Is so low. He's going to probably get overwhelmed. He does. And it's Zipnik's to find him in the end. But again, a rifle recovered.
Sprays 2 down, no?
Can Zipnik's land the shot, though? You got 1 by headshot. 1 sitting in like mini pit, I guess, where Forrest is right now. Now, NiP should be able to buy time. The crossfire is well set here. It's going to be hard for Zipnik's to get over the fact they'd have to peek in towards Forrest. They're actually both peeking towards him. That's a kill picked up. He's made this so costly. They had 4 rifles and 1 P250. Forrest does not want to get rid of this. Of course, they can't win the round here, but it still cost a lot of money to NiP, and Forrest survives on 4 HP if he doesn't get caught by that bomb in the end, and he doesn't. So, far more costly than it could have been. They could have kept all that money almost and not have to reinvest. Now, much worse from where they would be. They're going to be able to get the buy-in anyway. That's not the point. It's the fact that they're not as well set here. So you're going to see the full buy for Astralis. This is the important round now. Let's see what Astralis bring on this buy. Again, let's look at it. Let's remind ourselves, you know, Astralis do have some time, do have some issues adapting to certain tactics. They struggle against G2, for example, with their B take and their, you know, really nice B hit. The Device going for instant information towards Squeaky, but that flash is going to send him packing.
No chance for Device to get that early shot there. Still makes a re-pick in though, but that's Get Right. He's found a pick over a B. Dupree not able to play close enough for him this time. Oh, the pick on towards Pit there, but Device goes very, very low. Bomb not headed to B just yet here as NiP and Freiberg are still trying to clear this site, and no one clears it better than the cleaner. And Cajun B has to hold up against this one. Get right down to 36. It's going to be more where that came from.
Didn't expect the re-peek from Get Right. That's one of those frustrating kills. You're just like, why would you re-peek that? But okay. And it gets the job done, and currently Cajun B playing without any shoes on. He's trying to go Olafmeister style, if you are following that account, but not working out too well so far. And again, this is NiP's B takes. It's actually been very impressive. Get Right's providing a lot of these first kills, however. So now, let's see if they can keep this up, though. It's a retake position for Astralis, but they've got a lot on the plate here, and no utility to really work with. 1 kit on Zipnik's. Get Right playing close corner 2 towards the side. Device is trying to peer in, if they get... Oh, he's spotted out 1, so he gets a little bit of information. The other 2 now starting to consider it, but Get Right's cut off one of the arms of approach. Zipnik's replies, down to a 2v2, but time is running out here, Mitch.
Yeah, no kid as well. Device has to go for it or back away, and he does choose the latter. I was going to say chase, but he's running at this stage. And yeah, Astralis gun round not quite working out for them the way they would have liked it to, and honestly, the early push in by NiP towards that B site without the bomb there definitely opened things up nicely for them. And Carrigan was on that wide flank, but of course after getting the first kill, Get Right knew where he was. That was traded in, but then it was just held down quite solidly there as well. 4 in a row here for NiP. That first gun round win for them, huge boon. Let's see them carry it through now as well. Remember, they were 5-0 up, if I'm not mistaken, last map.
Yeah, something around that marker. Astralis, please. And again, NiP, they like to do this take. Last time they actually did a lot of clearing with the mollies, which isn't too surprising, I guess, when you're against Nico. But they've actually gone to the one place where Device is waiting, and he's going to get overwhelmed and completely deleted. And NiP have a free step towards the site. Smoke out CT, site is yours, no one's that close by. However, no presence in mid means that, okay, well, Vents is a threat. You've got Forrest watching the back. Bomb's going to go down, you know, completely uncontested unless maybe some ingenious work came out. But Get Right actually going to go for the counter boost into Vents and take a bit of a fight then. Doesn't go too well. Going to have to back away. But again, this is a clean round for NiP, and they actually need some clean rounds. So they want to keep these guns into their hands. And Zipnik's and Dupree are left scratching their heads like, how is this happening? What's going on, guys?
Even as a team who's not making a lot of mistakes in a lot of these rounds, a buffer would be nice to be able to build up here. So trying to keep it clean. Zipnik's hoping to dirty the floor up with a bit of blood. Hopefully it's not his at this stage. And Dupree is off over towards lobby there as well. So there's not too much these two can really make happen here. Zipnik's is pretty well spotted out. There's an AWP on the ground, but of course no point to go for that one. Maybe a peek, but that's wishful thinking at this stage. Zipnik's has to just accept that one and get the AWP. Can manage to salvage that one away. Probably could have removed that one. Yeah, bit weird. Device gets his AWP back.
Could just be focused on getting around and kind of forgetting that detail. But it is a strange detail to forget, if I'm honest, rather than just like taking away, moving the rifle out.
Well, they knew he saved it. 100% their new device had the AWP, so...
Yeah. Odd. Oh well. Again, they're 5-0 up. Maybe they're just not that fast. I don't know. Maybe you should worry about it, but again, finally you see Astralis with a bit of utility, and Get Right going to do the same. Molly down towards underneath. Words are hard.
Underwalls.
Underwalls. That's a new word for me. It goes kind of like under vent, clears out that close corner in case there's someone just trying to sit in a bit of a cheeky spot. But again, this is like Exist is looking for the counter boost. Just seeing if there's aggression coming out from Astralis, and already Get Right finds Dupree. This guy's like opening up B to annoying sorts of levels, and this guy individually taking on 2 players. What is going on, Astralis? I don't get it.
And Pit and Forest sold so much of a fake over at A that Astralis were already there. Now, yeah, they're opting to stay because I think they just want to try and hold on to these weapons. But already going to be a plant here for B in a few moments. NiP not convinced that they've actually got that B site fully cleared here. They've actually got to smoke, flash that one through. But I mean, Get Right got 2 entries there as well. You wouldn't expect Astralis to stack it on this round, so maybe looking for one more player. However, there won't be any. Astralis is just going to try and hold on here as well. This will be the second gun round they have now to win. So it's imperative that they hold on to those rifles.
And I'm trying to think, excluding the pistol rounds, how many times have we seen NiP go A?
We haven't. They haven't.
See, this is the thing I was saying against Fnatic. They were extremely good at these mid to B hits. They haven't actually had to use mid particularly, because Get Right's just going beast mode on any player on B. Sadly, for it's actually Cajun B and Dupree receiving it. I kind of got it mixed up in my brain, because I always think Zipnik is always on the solo side. It's actually not the case in this one, which is probably an issue amongst itself. And Dupree can be great. They do like to put Device over there sometimes, but he's just not being able to get into this game really with the AWP yet. And he could get some pressure from Get Right if he's not careful, and...
Oh, that's rough.
That is really quite rough, because that means no AWP coming forward. Device could actually rebuy one, which is fine.
Because he saved it from... They had it saved from the previous round.
So it's not too bad, but again, it's just costly. But how is Get Right just being able to open this up time and time again?
Smashed.
Dupree's normally so good at holding these angles. That's the thing, like, Astralis players are good at this. It's just weird seeing them getting absolutely outdone. We might be seeing the A hit that Dan loves so much.
Yes, well, he did have a few words to say about it here, as we all have, I guess, at some point over the night. So smoke towards A main. Now, there's a counter boost in mid. Yes, Carrigan's just sat there. He wants to hear what's going on in A main.
This could be a huge issue. I think Get Right might have heard this.
We'll never know. Carrigan actually got him there as well. Now Freiberg as well. Molotov in towards quad. Pit gets on towards Carrigan. Cajun being forced to do some dancing now. He's going to have Freiberg to deal with an NiP entering these sites perfectly. Just 2 players left now. It's Dupree and Device. Long rotate through. Forest with a sliver of health, but enough. And he needs a 1 bullet. Oh, maybe 2 in that case. Is Dupree lucky to get away with his life. Was fleeing. Going to flash the bejesus out of that truck. Device now looking for A head to shoot at. Find that one. Gets Freiberg as he tries to put us up close. This is the round as well. Okay, enough nonsense. Let's get that AWP away. Device had to rebuy this round. They know that. But they may not actually be able to get that one off him here. It seems like NiP are more interested in just, like you said before, Lauren, getting these rounds done.
And that's the thing. That round was actually very close to how it used to be constructed by threat rather than like the old NiP one. The old NiP kind of... Ooh, nice work from Device then. Still costing a little bit of something, I guess, at this point. But yeah, that was far closer to the threat style, where it's all from main, whereas the previous NiP one was from behind A, then they'd do the mollies a little closer. And the pause has come out. And that probably is going to be Astralis at this point going, guys,
yeah, they're probably just breaking open the piggy bank as well and searching. There's some fluff in there, there's a paperclip or 2, trying to maybe find some actual currency. Carrigan actually has a bit, and obviously...
Yeah.
So does Cajun B, so not a problem. This is definitely a buy for these guys here, but again, the guns aren't the problem here, clearly. NiP are taking these rounds by storm, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, we had round 5 and round 6, they didn't lose anyone in those rounds, of course, because we saw saves come out from Astralis. But outside of that, Astralis are getting them down to 2 to 3, but it's just really efficient and effective trading from NiP on the trading into bomb sites well. Or GetRight's just going and getting 2 for none.
And that's ridiculous, right? Like, the thing is, his plays towards B have been outstanding. Normally, you see NiP's mid to B takes kind of depending a bit more on the players actually coming through mid. Because they do the double smokes that I guess were the original, like, you know, G2's lineup back in the days, kind of their... It's not their play, but it was... Everyone knew it from them originally with their kind of like double smoke out and then, you know, get some mid presence, blah, blah, blah. And split the vents. Now, NiP before did that well against Fnatic, you know, and GetRight wasn't having as much success as he is this time. And his score's not huge. It's not like, you know, a hyper carry score. But these kills are equating basically to, like, you know, opening the rounds and closing the rounds. It's kind of terrifying, right? Like, it's actually really, really sick. So, again, NiP not even having to show the full power of what they can do. Now, for astralis, how do you stop that, right? How do you stop GetRight? Is there... Because this is the thing. It's how do you hinder him? If Dupree can't stop him...
It has been a long time since we've heard that phrase, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, it's like, okay, KGB and Dupree, what can you do to adjust? They've tried the aggression with Dupree, kind of got smashed. Okay, well...
Or at least traded and then...
Yeah, it's like, and then you try and, okay, well, can we boost the vent? Not too sure. GetRight gets there pretty quickly. Can we maybe... Let's try and AWP there. Let's see if we can AWP the angle first. Device hasn't had that much time over there. He's been kind of more focused towards mid, a little bit more, you know, standard. But I see Carrigan with the AWP this time, but I don't know if he's going to stick on it. I'd assume he wouldn't.
I picked it up a couple rounds on Mirage, if we recall, so... Maybe Device is not feeling great on it. Or Carrigan is just going to buy a gun and pass it over. That's also entirely likely. Yeah, I'm not really sure here for astralis. Definitely something needs to be... And I think you're right. I think even in some of these rounds, they're not really scratching the surface on NiP. Of course, I mean, it's 7-0, so that's... says a lot in itself here, but even if astralis do get maybe their aim battle sorted, then there's going to be a whole nother level as well, dealing with the tactical approach. And, you know, CT aggression... works well, but not if you die. And I know that sounds really basic, but it's always 1-for-1 is always worthwhile for T-siders because you're spreading CTs here. So it's good to see that Dupree's attempted that, and even Carrigan to a lesser extent. But even when it's a trade, NiP just seem to be able to get ahead on it.
Yeah. And, okay, so Cajun B is playing way more passive now, but it doesn't matter. Now you see the mid element coming through, always ready to trade, and GetRight finds a new angle. Dupree's going to be so mad after this because you're just like, well, I tried. I went for something different, and it still doesn't work. What more can I do here? Now NiP have mid-control. GetRight's pushed all the way up. It's going to be Xyp9x to try and hinder him, but look who's waiting in that smoke.
This is an off-angle, and GetRight knows about where he needs to be aiming here as well. So a lot... Oh! Christopher is going to get sprayed down if he's not careful. No! He gets lucky. 3 health left. You just hear that very awkward sound like click, or someone steps on like a landmine or something before it goes off, and you're like, okay, I may have just messed up here. But Device... Last man standing with AWP going to be a plant. He'll probably try and hold on to it as that was astralis spending a bit of cash with GetRight. He's going to put one in his head. GetRight, where have you been all this time? I shouldn't say that, but...
I feel so bad for astralis. Because, you know what I mean? Like, they try and work out maybe a new way of holding B. Just, okay, well, let GetRight take some control. We'll just, like, stop him later. So, you know, Dupree plays checkers, and then KGB like sits way further back, sitting just like on the cross there. But then they decide to switch it up. NiP just like say, okay, well maybe they've countered what our default was. Let's try something different. What's the worst that can happen? Now Device is playing a UMP, and Dupree's going pretty aggressive here. Smokes have come out. He's going to play in towards his corner. GetRight does check this when he comes through this way.
He does.
But again, KGB's close by, so if the mid split comes out, they could be caught, but that's what Device is trying to hold back. However, with Xyp9x falling, he's looking more vulnerable now, and that's where now astralis have to worry about.
Device re-smokes mid there as well, gives him more time in mid, gives him more control of that part of the map here. And Dupree actually backing out of that corner now. I thought, to be fair, decent success rate, because if he has a pistol, sure, GetRight's probably going to check that. But even if GetRight were to check Dupree in the corner, there's still an opportunity for him. Door opens in front of Carrigan. Just flash on towards Pit as well, so he is nullified for the moment. Would still like to press through that door at a moment's notice, but look at him. He's actually just going to try and keep astralis here. Forrest is pulled way back in A main, maybe even ready to take the bomb through mid or elsewhere. But GetRight, again, he gets on towards Dupree. This guy single-handedly is clearing out this B side. It's now open, but Pit's going to go on towards A as well. It's 2 for him. Carrigan and Device both fall. Nothing is working for astralis, and this is a massive deficit. Been a long time since I've seen a scoreline like this, and NiP are showing up in a big way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Freiburg's playing well. You know, a name that we haven't been able to mention.
So sick.
What are you saying?
It's like, man, so sick.
Oh, if you're like, yeah.
Oh, no.
Why you got to talk about Freiburg like that?
No. Freiburg's been doing great.
Don't you be mean to dearest Adam, all right?
Oh, okay, we're on first name basis.
Oh,
right.
sorry, Christopher.
Well, sorry, you don't call him Freiburg, so I guess you're not that close, are you?
Not anymore, because, I got told off originally when I started to call him. They're like, no, Lauren, don't say it that way. I'm like, but that's what he said. Yeah, pistol round coming out, and guess who gets the first kill? Wow, it's Get Right. What a surprise. But yeah, this is like super dominant NiP. This is kind of scary to watch. Again, I don't know if this is Astralis playing. I hate to say it, right? This can't be all NiP. Like, it's a really good show from NiP, and it's a really good show from Get Right, but there has to be something going a little astray for Astralis here. Because you don't go up 9-0 to, you know, tier 1 teams. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Even Fnatic don't normally manage that sort of thing. At least Astralis is stacking out the right side. Dupree finally takes down Exist, but it's Get Right killing him again. And he's going to be getting those little like voodoo dolls with just like a picture of Get Right and just like slowly just adding pins to it every single round. Ooh. And Device will get Freiburg, leaving just Zipnix alive. What's that?
No, nothing. I didn't say a thing. All right, well. Fortunately, at least I have 20 million people that would agree with me. It's nice to have someone on your side when you're in that situation. Zipnix gets naded. Forrest just sends that one from downtown, and it's going to be NiP 10 rounds, 2-0. You couldn't make this up. Absolutely incredible stuff here from NiP. I don't know, man. This is double AWP now. So, Astralis, okay, gloves are off, in case they weren't already before. And, yeah, a little bit of lack of utility on Zipnix. Oh, no, I spoke wrong. I saw he had the money. I was wondering when he was going to spend it. But
the weird thing is the double AWPs on players that are not the default AWPer. You've got KGB and Carrigan going for this. What? So KGB's going to try and take on Get Right basically with this. Pretty much. And Carrigan can hold A. So here we go. This is the difference. Double stack out mid. Zipnix and Device go there. KGB holds from Checkers, but you've got to be watching Get Right here. Because he's the one who's about to make a challenge towards an AWPer. Forces KGB out of this angle. The rest of NiP are playing very far back, so they're waiting for what's coming their way. Exist is literally holding, the push through main, having a little bit towards counter boost, just checking between the both. And they can run this clock down because they've got the mollies, they've got all the utility and all of it in their favor. So where do they decide? Does it go, okay, well, we don't get the first pick. Do we do maybe that cool A hit we've got up our sleeve? The difference being Carrigan's holding the angle actively this time. And they're using a lot of the mollies early, so they now have 3 left. One being on Forest, the other Pit, and Freiburg.
What a great way to circumvent Carrigan.
But
stack into towards Squeaky.
Sure, they can't predict he's got an AWP. Device has found Exist, so this is going to speed up. They're trying to fake the B basically right now. They're doing the double smokes, but Carrigan's found one, and now they pounce. So they overwhelm him. But everyone's going to know what's coming their way now. And finally, Astralis do actually get some sort of payback for everything they've been trying to do here. But it's down to Get Right still, and Get Right delivers. That's down to a 2v2. How can they win this?
This is one of the few times in this game that Astralis have had a man advantage mid-round, and they've squandered it. It's an AWP for both sides here, Get Right and Cajun B. Device is quite low, and Freiburg's looking good. He's going to make his way over towards this side here, and Get Right will be sat at A main. Freiburg at quad. So much control of this side as well, and Get Right not missing that one as well. Stunning stuff from Ninjas in Pyjamas. This Device with only 20-odd points of health. He's going to go straight in towards A main. He might catch Get Right here, but no! God. The man gets it done! Would have loved to have seen that from his perspective, but 4 kills for Get Right this round, and it's all about him. More like Bet Right. Put your skins on that guy. He's going off.
He's on 20-3. On the other side of the coin, Cajun B, 1-10. Oh, man. See, to be fair, Astralis just aren't hitting their shots for one. That is a factor here. They are not hitting their shots. And Get Right is going above and beyond with his. So, look at this guy's like, Dupree, do you fancy being aggressive today? I know you're going to have limited amounts to work with. Hey, welcome to hell. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you a second chance. He's being a merciful god here. He's allowing the peasants on Astralis to live for one more day. Or at least maybe 1 more minute and 28 seconds at this rate. We'll see. We'll see again. This is the default for NiP, it seems. And a lot of strain towards Get Right getting opening kills, so they don't seem to do anything until he does, or it is that A hit. One of the two at this point. But Astralis, it did work out when they double stacked in mid. But this time they don't have everything to stack with. They don't have the smokes and nades. They don't have what it takes to be able to do it. So there's the double smoke about to go through from Exist and Freiburg. That's going to cut off any vision from Device, and now they can work through it if they fancy it. However, it's just Freiburg peeking through right now. Device is on the other side. That's the side of the smoke you normally see people kind of like tend to lean through. He's looking towards the boost. And Exist might just see those little tippy-tappy toes kind of peeking through, and Exist will find them. And you can see the take through mid begin. This is a nice A split about to come through here. Xyp9x and Karrigan going to be the two waiting on the other side of it. Both with weaponry, so at least they'll be able to put up a fight. As cajunb and dupreeh are stacked out on B. It's down to these two to hit their shots and hit them damn hard right now because NiP are just about to encroach on the site. The flashes come out, and here we go. Xyp9x tries to assist, but only feeds his life towards Exist, and now Karrigan swings out on the side, does some great work, but not great enough. There's now 3 players left on the A side. Bomb goes down, retake time. cajunb's fired up. He's getting angry at this. Molly goes out, but I can imagine Forest could maybe escape from that, but smokes out himself. And now 2v2. Good work from dupreeh towards Pit, leaving Forest in a 1v2.
The smoke allows him to get towards quad there, and I don't think he was spotted at all by cajunb or dupreeh. cajunb are looking at quad, so perhaps at least he's just covering that angle now. Quick swing out could pay dividends here as well, but he was spotted there. He does get cajunb the 1v1 now. Bomb still ticking. dupreeh has to worry about that one as well, and he does get down Forest. And how hard do astralis have to work to get around back? 5 seconds he managed to go and get the kit. That could have gone ugly, and it will be the first for astralis. And not a moment too soon here as well, as NiP have already been close to maxed out, or maxed out for the last few rounds here. And there's a break, finally, in the wall.
Jesus. Problem is they're going to get reset. I don't know what to say. This is nut stuff from NiP, like some really, really nice plays. Again, their money's pretty sick, so not the problem. Good performance though from astralis, and it looks like we're going to finally see a bit of mid aggression, maybe a counter boost. Exist has been waiting for this, so if we could see it from his perspective, that'd be very, very cool, as he's the one waiting on the other side. Exist would be really cool right now. Thank you. And I wonder if he's going to keep presence of mind to watch this long enough to see if it comes through again. Karrigan is up there, and he actually backs away from it. So now this could cause a problem. Pit's going to walk past pretty darn soon. But NiP not really making too much noise here. They're kind of being cautious. We are seeing that stack towards mid, but actually it's a B hit about to come through. Get right at the helm of this ship again. dupreeh could maybe do something. He's pushed himself over. They've kind of left Device like, farewell, my dear friend. It was nice knowing you. You better hold that site by yourself. So we go. NiP with a very slow take, but dupreeh does come back around to exchange one. Doesn't see the bomb though, so there's still hesitation on astralis here.
And Karrigan looks like it was counter boosted more just for sound than anything else, and he won't actually see anything when he finally does come down. Forest will spot him, does take him out. It's just almost looking too easy for that man right now, and with the bomb still in mid, NiP's options are still myriad. Pith will be over in squeaky, so still choosing to wait for the rest of his team here as well. Mind you, Forest going towards A-man with the AWP. astralis don't have any smokes to prevent any of this sort of happening, so, I mean, he can just walk into the side, essentially, and check it out. Now, they're just going to clear their corners here, but they are going to hit this site now, and Xyp9x going to be partially blocked off there. There's a smoke kind of at Toxic. It's going to have to go up.
Problem is they have no information about quad, so you can see them being very hesitant towards it. Pit's gone and moved in, so he's fine. friberg's now pressuring from the back, but it's Xyp9x having free reign. He had time to work, but it's still Forest with the Tech 9. What is going on today? NiP 12-1. Ah, this is unreal. Get right, 20-5 so far. friberg 16-6. Forest 11-5. Exist 4-6, and Pit 6-8. And on the other side, no one breaking double digits yet for astralis. And this is such a rarity. These guys are normally so good, but this is not the astralis that I hope to see going in towards that major pretty soon, because that would be unreal. So here we go into this round, and Device pushed up close to Squeak, waiting for Pit. Maybe feeling he can maybe get a gun away from him. And the rest, having to patiently wait and see what NiP bring this round.
Slow and steady here for dupreeh, as he's going to get a little bit of a peek towards him at B, but friberg actually takes him out quite easily. Now Forest as well, in towards mid with the AWP. Great opening there as well for friberg. We normally see Get Right cracking it in, but friberg has been doing a lot of the heavy lifting as well behind the scenes. Does he see a bit of cajunb? No. Or he actually steps out though. cajunb actually gets that fight, but it's going to be traded in as well. And that's always going to be an advantage to your Ts, especially in NiP now as they're able to press forward. The B side is open, but again, they're going to be meticulous and check it. Now, that actually gave away 2 kills to Xyp9x there as he was able to pick them off as they came across. But NiP, again, just want to take it step by step. Pit catches on towards Karrigan through mid, and Xyp9x and Device now have to go through mid themselves to actually access this one. And Pit's in a great position to stop them. He goes very, very low to Xyp9x, doesn't want to get traded in, so he backs away. Device was definitely hunting. He's not going to find him.
Device, though, doing a little bit of damage. A little bit of damage doesn't go too far, though, at this point. As far as with the Tech-9's going to close it down, and that Get Right and Freiburg combination is terrifying. And God forbid Forest actually comes in life here. Astralis, good luck on your T-sides. I can imagine they will be terrifying. And Get Right's gone full Get right now. Can we just have a little look on him, please?
Okay. Really? Okay.
Zidakdak is out.
Oh, man, I love you some Dak, seriously. Oh, all right, well. Yeah, it's not just Get Right, it's Pit.
But he does this hell of a lot of the time when it's against lower buys, because he knows that Dupree likes to push up. So he's going to sit here quite late until maybe that smoke dissipates, and Zipnik's going to be hopping up and down for information towards main. And NiP going to do their slow, good old default, and just wait to see where those opening picks come from. Freiburg sometimes provides, Get Right sometimes provides, and hell, if that fails, they have a lot of other players who can do just the same thing.
Get Right's not going to find too much there. Pitt also bought himself up a Dak and actually dropped it eventually. So he just tried, I think he spammed me with it there, and then ducked back and exchanged it. And Get Right still sat in spawn.
Device.
Happy as Larry.
Device can be flashed through to mid. Actually does some sick work with the Deagle. Just leaps down towards Freiburg after what was a beautiful set play. It was KGB to try and help him out. He comes in with a 5-7. Can't do it all, though. Only finding Pitt there. And Astralis with 3 players standing. Karrigan getting a little bit anxious, looking for this information, knowing there could be trouble afoot in mid, as now there's no one by main, and Zipnik needs to take that peek. He does. I just got the tag as well. Gonna hop up and down, look for more. Backs away before that nade does full damage, and just says, NiP, take mid. Karrigan could be the one punishing you now.
He will have the jump here potentially on Exist. Exist actually turned in that direction, checked it, and now he's going to maybe be punished for it. Yes, Karrigan picks him up. 2 players now for NiP working on towards this side. Dupree holds beautifully. These Deagles are coming up trumps in this round so far. Forest has to clutch. He gets the pick towards Dupree's head, but Karrigan's going to be coming in from vents. Forest looking to challenge it, but Karrigan cleverly enough backing away, but he does catch Zipnik as he comes across. This is stunning work. Forest with 2 kills already. He's got the bomb. He'll be able to plant it. Karrigan has no utility. He actually might just force this one, and Forest reads it like an absolute god. Gets the plant, gets the round. 14-1 half-time. What the heck? That was so sick. You know, so many players would have just planted that as well. He's like, you know what? Let me just check this.
Are you going to get a Forest tattoo now, like, not opposite to the
Man, it was just sick. I'm sorry, it was sick. I mean, if Astralis were Rickon, I'll be saying the same thing. I said the same thing up when they were up against Dignitas, so. You are trying to paint me as such a bad person. So many things tonight. Yeah.
I love it. It's the joy. It's the joy. But no, this was a really nice clash from Forest.
Man.
But yeah, this is what I mean. Like, this is the discipline that has seemingly started to show with NiP. Even though they were up so many rounds, they never squandered it. They were playing this really nice tactical game. They're reading into the economy of the opponent every time. They're playing it absolutely perfectly. Even when they knew they were only on pistols. Okay, well, we're down a player. How do we get it back? All right, let's try and take mid control in the game and do the B split. All right, step by step. Sure, we're down to Forest, but Forest still does the job. 14-1, Mitch. I don't know what's going on. Astralis, I think these are one of the games you just can't linger on at any point, really.
Yeah, and you know what? And, honestly, like, once a season happens to a lot of teams, you know, sometimes these freakish results come up. Maybe for Fnatic, it was the mouse loss in overtime, although that was closer than this one. Yeah. But still, I'd say an upset of a similar magnitude here. So, yeah, I mean, Astralis now got a lot of work to do. This pistol is where they need to start. If they give this away, it's going to be match point for NiP. So there is just no room for error here. And Device, at least, precise on his shot towards Get Right. Dupree and KGB pressing already through now. Freiburg getting heavily tagged up straight away. So good exchanges early on in the round for Astralis. They just need to execute. They need to be able to tie this one up in a bow and put it under their belt. They definitely need it now. Exist. Going to have 2 players to deal with now. Zipnik's not wanting to challenge, even though he knew Exist was otherwise occupied. A little bit of an attempt at wallbang, and Zipnik's down to 8. Forest, they're trying to hold from, yeah, right out in the open. It's going to be Dupree to take him down there as well. And Freiburg struggling to catch on to him here, so this is a chance for Astralis now. Press on towards this B side. Karrigan will be bringing the bomb in a few moments. Cajun B. Nice.
Maybe they can make this scoreline look respectable, even though it wasn't. This is the thing. It's like, after that half, there might be no saving you. And Pit, please hit the shot. Don't just shut the door and deal with your issues.
Don't shut the door and sit in the corner and just brood. You need to face the music.
You know, putting on some Linkin Park and, you know, telling mum to leave you alone. You know, it's one of those moments. But the thing is, though, with NiP, the CT side, it's not static. Static's the incorrect word of it. It's the way Get Right plays main, for example. He will generally smoke it out and then, like, push around that left side, constantly play it. And Device was almost waiting for that. He was, like, sat there, like, can't wait to see you in a little bit of time. I'll wait here a couple of seconds. The Astralis, let's see what they're going for this time. They've smoked. Was that their smoke towards Sandbags? It might have been. They powered through it. Okay, there we go. So, bit of just a quick take towards mid. They're just barreling through. They're no prisoners, just flying around Mac-10s. They do have rifles out, but actually it's the Mac-10s doing the flying here. As Get Right just gets mowed over as now Exist, soon to fall, and Astralis going to be doing some early work now. Okay. It's a long way back, so it's a long, treacherous road. But they've got a lot more on the board now in just a couple of rounds.
No, there's no other way to do it, really, is there?
Yep.
Than like this. Well, and that first gun round, of course, is definitely going to be a nervous one for Astralis, but we're not quite there yet. NiP going to go for pretty much a full save here. I'm just going to see what they can come up with. Last round, highly unsuccessful. I think just the one deagle kill there. I think we might have been Get Right or someone else there to pick that one up. Interesting, yeah.
It's a nice boost actually, because you can basically see.
They didn't see the player in vet though. I thought they were gonna have. Like, I thought like a cheer squad thing. Like they was gonna like throw someone up in the air as well. And
well, I know the LCS had cheerleaders recently for Unicorns of Love, because that's not awkward.
Well, I'm sorry, but World of Tanks have had cheerleaders for 3 years.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that game. That doesn't even count. What a shambles.
It's pretty impressive.
Of shambles. Exist finding Dupree there. A little bit of a mare. And Carrigan losing out on the rifle as Cajun B comes in to clean up the mess that was being created. And Get Right left in a 1v3.
Yeah, that could be really bad, of course. 2 AKs would have gone over to NiP in that case, but no. Astralis going to be able to get it done there as well. 2 kills going over to NiP generally in that round. Here comes the buy. Keep your eyes on this one, ladies and gentlemen. This could be, well, one of the most important rounds of the game. The ones before this one were all important too. This one just a little bit more. As is NiP now, not so much trying to fight for a lead. It's not so much a squabble over who's going to be on top. It's more about trying to finish the game for the Ninjas here. And they really don't want to let Astralis build up ahead of scene. That would be just not ideal. Pit is flashed. Device going to boost himself over. Look who's sitting in the smoke though. Freiberg right up close and personal. What's he going to see now? He sees Carrigan. He gets behind. And that's the bomb going on the ground. Perfect stuff. And Device also is going to fall. My lord. Freiberg. Good position there. It was literally, they were running circles around him unwittingly.
But look how many players NiP put to mid. They knew that the Astralis like to make, you really do like to take mid control on these big buy rounds. And again, just reading it very, very intelligently. And it's going to put now Astralis on a massive back foot here. They could maybe punish a little bit towards mid, but they only have 1 smoke, so they can't do the double smoke. They can't trade out effectively because they can't clear these corners. So it's actually very hard to do anything towards mid now.
See, Astralis got flashed out so bad as well. Zipnix and KGB had to step back from, I think, 2 flashes coming in. I couldn't tell if they were shielding their eyes or wiping them, because this might be over. NiP will at least get themselves to that magic number 15 here. 4 players still standing. Now the bomb's just in the middle as well, and they can just set up on this one. Very, very standard split over this one. 1 watching each side. Pit now turns the flash and got to turn on towards Cajun B as well. It's just going to be Zipnix now as well. A heck of a lot on his shoulders. He's got 4 players to deal with. Got to start with 1. He does get Pit. I think there's one up in vents there as well, but it looks like Forrest actually backed away from that one. So they're going to allow Zipnix a little bit more of free reign. Allow him in mid.
Well, he got mollied out of there, so he had to back away. Yeah. So Zipnix having faith in that.
Now Zipnix is going to press in towards vents here as well. 3 players for NiP, 2 loose, of course, as Forrest has already sat on this bomb site. So smoke towards lower, but it's more likely actually that NiP can push onto this one if it's just 1 player. And he does win the battle against Forrest. This could be big. Zipnix now knows there's probably going to be an NiP player up top side, but Freiberg catches him. He wasn't even able to get towards the bomb side. This is match point. Anyone tuning in now? Again, I said this last map actually. This is not a joke. This is not a drill. Astralis are still searching for their 5th round while NiP are trying to finish the game.
If you combined Get Right and Freiberg, they would equate to the entire kills that the Astralis side has had so far. Maths. Nailed it.
Nice.
Double up though for Astralis on the T side. It's those all in plays. You can't play for the next round, and Device going to get off to a bang at least there by removing Pit away from mid. But Dupree going to try and make a quick kind of, make sure you keep eyes on vents, guys. Could be a problem. Oh my god, that's that's completely fluffed it for Zipnix. He wanted to smoke out and actually make a push, and that's either genius from NiP to do that or just sheer luck. It actually stopped the smoke where it started using the molly, and now Astralis down to 2. This has been an outstanding game for any NiP fan, and NiP themselves can be extremely proud of what they've achieved this game, because that has been an outstanding performance. Unless maybe Device and KGB can pull off somewhat of a miracle here.
It's a long way from here still. 2 AWPs in their hands. And they've somehow got to penetrate a site and then obviously take out these CTs. It's going to be a big job for them. KGB, well, doesn't matter if he feels up to the task or not, because he's got no choice. He gets gunned down straight away. Freiberg above him, and Device knows exactly who's lurking up above. But he has no choice but to try and press across. He checked headshot box as well. Close corner. Gets onto the site. Cruelly, it seems like NiP are going to let him plant at least before the end of things. Exist comes through. He was actually second to the punch. And Device is still going to go down. And NiP, a stunning 16-4 victory here. Definitely an upset, at least in terms of what the scoreline was.